Welcome to our series, Fine Poetry, Poems that Touch Deeper Chords. Today, Wallace Stevens, Part 2. Continual conversation with a silent man. The old brown hen and the old blue sky. Between the two we live and die, the broken cartwheel on the hill. As if, in the presence of the sea, we dried our nets and mended sail and talked of never-ending things. Of the never-ending storm of will, one will and many wills, and the wind, of many meanings in the leaves, brought down to one below the eaves, link of that tempest to the farm, the chain of the turquoise hen and sky, and the wheel that broke as the cart went by. It is not a voice that is under the eaves. It is not speech, the sound we hear in this conversation, but the sound of things and their motion. The other man, a turquoise monster moving round. The planet on the table. Ariel was glad he had written his poems. They were of a remembered time, or of something seen that he liked. Other makings of the sun were waste and welter, and the ripe shrub writhed. His self and the sun were one, and his poems, although makings of his self, were no less makings of the sun. It was not important that they survive. What mattered was that they should bear some lineament or character, some affluence, if only half perceived, in the poverty of their words, of the planet of which they were part. The poem that took the place of a mountain. There it was, word for word. The poem that took the place of a mountain. He breathed its oxygen, even when the book lay turned in the dust of his table. It reminded him how he had needed a place to go to in his own direction, how he had recomposed the pines, shifted the rocks, and picked his way among clouds for the outlook that would be right, where he would be complete in an unexplained completion. The exact rock where his inexactness would discover, at last, the view towards which they had edged, where he could lie and, gazing down at the sea, recognize his unique and solitary home. Tea at the Palaz of Hoon. Not less because in purple I descended the western day through what you called the loneliest air. Not less was I myself. What was the ointment sprinkled on my beard? What were the hymns that buzzed beside my ears? What was the sea whose tide swept through me there? Out of my mind the golden ointment rained, and my ears made the blowing hymns they heard. I was myself the compass of that sea. I was the world in which I walked, and what I saw, or heard, or felt, came not but from myself. And there I found myself more truly and more strange. The Snowman. One must have a mind of winter to regard the frost and the boughs of the pine trees crusted with snow, and have been cold a long time, to behold the junipers shagged with ice, the spruces rough in the distant glitter of the January sun, and not to think of any misery in the sound of the wind, in the sound of a few leaves, which is the sound of the land, full of the same wind that is blowing in the same bare place for the listener who listens in the snow, and, nothing himself, beholds nothing that is not there, and the nothing that is.